Newman, Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 101.9 FM, AM 630. WMAL.
8:37. A lot of questions being raised these days about the Attorney General of the United States and recent testimony he gave before Congress on the issue of Fast and Furious. He was asked the question, when did you first hear about Fast and Furious?
When did you first know about the program, officially I believe called Fast and Furious? To the best of your knowledge, what date?
I'm not sure the exact date, but I probably heard about Fast and Furious for the first time over the last few weeks.
But later came documents which seemed to suggest the Attorney General was briefed almost a year ago and then was briefed every month after that. On the phone now, Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican from Iowa, a man who is investigating this matter. Look, there are documents that say he got a lot of briefings. He testified before Congress that indeed he had only heard about it a couple of weeks before it became news. And I guess my question to you, sir, is, has he lied to Congress, and does there need to be a special prosecutor appointed to investigate this matter?
Well, I think that there's been a call for a special prosecutor, and I'm not going to intervene against that, but if there's a special prosecutor appointed or not, I'm still going to continue my investigation. And to answer your first question, we have 5 documents that would back up what you said, that he knew about this in the middle of 2010. But I can tell you this for a fact, that he said several weeks before that May 3rd interview that he may have heard about it for the first time. Well, several months before that, he was in my office, right here where I am now talking to you, sitting in the chair I'm looking at, and he came to my office for other things than that. But I gave him, on January the 31st, a copy of a letter that started my investigation 4 days before that, asking the Attorney General to give me various documents. So he should say at least several months, if because he got a letter from me announcing my investigation of it.
That is something I had not heard. Senator, the White House says that Holder's testimony was consistent and truthful, yet strangely we have not heard the Attorney General come out and make any further comment about this.
Well, I hope he does comment, and our goal here is to get to the bottom of this, to who authorized this and get them fired, and secondly, and more importantly, to make sure a stupid program that leads to the murder of a Border Patrol agent doesn't happen again. And the best thing that the Attorney General can do that is going to clear everything up, like did he really know or didn't he know? Well, just give us all the documents that we're asking for, and those documents will speak for themselves.
Last question from me, at least, and that is, look, lying to Congress or misrepresenting the truth before Congress is a very serious offense. People go to jail for that.
Yeah, you've had some trials in testimony. Illicit testimony before Congress on that very point by sports people very recently. So yes, you're absolutely right.
Well, let me clarify then. You said that you were talking to the Attorney General in January of this year, and in January of that year, did he know then about Fast and Furious, or did he at least knew that you were looking into it?
Well, we had maybe a half-hour meeting. We discussed the business he wanted to discuss with me, and so I told him, here's a copy of a letter I mailed you 4 days ago.
Okay.
And it's about Fast and Furious, and I hope you'll cooperate with my investigation. Now, we didn't have a discussion of it at that particular time because the letters speak for themselves, and I was expecting the full cooperation from us at that particular time. So what happened at that particular time was, first of all, the letter was given to him because we had whistleblowers within the Division of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms that came to me because I have a reputation for investigation and for protecting whistleblowers, and these same whistleblowers down in Arizona were not getting any attention as they talked to people in Maine Justice for 6 months prior to coming to me. So I gave the letter partly to institute the whistleblower protection law so that these guys wouldn't get fired.
Senator, I wonder what you think about the attention this has gotten. I have noticed that Solyndra and that scandal have gotten quite a bit of sort of wall-to-wall media coverage. Fast and Furious less so, and the Washington Post not covering much of Holder.
Didn't even mention it all in yesterday's paper.
Do you have a take on why that might be?
I would only say that it's liberals' press willing to protect liberals more than they're willing to protect conservatives. Because we had a discussion yesterday, among a couple of us in the Senate, that if this had gone on in the Bush administration, this liberal press would have been on this right now.
Right. Well, we had Lanny Davis from the Clinton White House on the program this morning. He said it's possible that Eric Holder, when he was referring to not having heard about it, just recently, he was talking about the failure of the program, not necessarily the program itself, but the failure of the program. Is that a possibility in his testimony that he was talking about the failure of the program, not necessarily knowing about the program itself?
Oh, I don't think that's a legitimate excuse at all. The only legitimate excuse I can have is that so many documents probably go in front of the Attorney General that maybe it's easy to be elusive about it. But the bottom line of it is there's 5 documents have crossed his desk in the summer of 2010 that one of them should have caught his eye. And then wouldn't you expect some big deal like this for him to really be notified about it? I mean, selling 2,000 guns illegally to get across the border into Mexico. That's a big deal, isn't it?
That's something I would want.
When there's a murder resulting from these guns being sold.
One would think.
I would think that's something I would want the Attorney General to know about.
Well, Senator Chuck Grassley, stay on it, and thank you very much. Come back and talk to us when you have new information. We want to follow this story very, very closely.